Well, that was short. Shorter intro than what I was thinking. Senior Dub, are you with us? Sounds like he is, but it's hard to tell. Well, guys, welcome to the other side of the ball. Um, I don't know if Dub is having some issues. On my screen, he looks frozen. I don't know about y'all. Yep, he was frozen. So, I'll get him back on here in a second. We just love the fact that you have some issues when dealing with this stuff, but it's better with him as the host than me because I'll just sit here and talk. Hopefully, everybody had a great weekend, had the first part of football season going well, and now it's time to have some fun, talk about a little A7, and get ready for the this upcoming fall brawl. Well, as they're changing it to winter something. I got to look it up. I'm sorry. It is one of those days where you think that everything's going well and it's not. What's up, Travis? As you can see, I'm here by myself for now. Dub has some issues with, uh, I guess, with his internet. So hopefully he'll be back on here quickly and joining us. Winter War. Thank you. Appreciate that. Um, and I think it's going to be very interesting for the Winter War, especially with some of the teams that they are talking about having. And the Winter War is going to be yeah, Travis, you're right. It's nothing new, but the teams are. And when you have the teams that are coming aboard for the Winter War, I think that it's going to bleed over into our 2025 season, and we should see some fun stuff for the Winter War. And I think that there's going to be some teams that are coming out to prove themselves to try to get into A7 into our division. So I just think, anytime you have a chance for new players and new blood coming in to kind of check things out, I always think that it's a good thing for us. Um, I think that it's just a matter of time before Vegas really starts to see a lot of new faces. So I meant Dub's internet, but always new faces every season. I love that. Yeah, Dub's internet is yeah, nothing new. Nothing new. Um he always gets upset about it too, and I'm hoping that he's not kicking his computer down the road right now as we speak, which is always a possibility. Yeah, new faces and new teams are always a good thing. I think that when we talk about these things and we have new players that come in to A7, it's an opportunity for A7 to grow, and I'm really looking forward to it because I think it is a time of growth for A7, and I want to see where this next stage takes us. Um, it's interesting to hear about the teams that are coming in. Interesting to hear about some movement. Obviously, we like to let the teams and players talk about that themselves, um, only for the reason of you don't want to announce something that you're hearing a rumor for. You want to hear the honest answer and hear it from the horse's mouth. So sometimes when we can, we get players on that are moving and talk about it, and why they feel that they should take their talents elsewhere. But we've got some interesting things coming up for the Winter War, and I think that something that needs to be talked about as we get closer because of the way they're going to put it together and how we're going to have games. So um, I think that overall it should be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. And it looks like Dub is trying to come back in. Hopefully, he can get himself set, and we can have a discussion rather than me sitting here filling air, if you will. Um, and Travis, my question, and you can put it on the message board, but I'm kind of curious if you guys are going to have a bunch of new faces as well, or if it'll be status quo. But I've heard a little bit of both. So I'm hoping that we start to see things grow from your standpoint as well. uh Denzel, you kill me, man. Yes, the Cowboys are not too bad. We'll have to talk about that on our NFL show. Um, because trust me when I say I've had some interesting conversations with people both online and offline about it, and listening to some of the talking heads on some of the four-letter words. A couple of them that I'd like to tell them, but anyway, it's interesting to listen to them talk about the Cowboys and oh, how great they are and how much we sucked during the off season, but now all of a sudden they're good again. Um, Yeah, and you know what? Sign up fees are a situation, and I can understand that. But realistically, if we're going to and no dub, we couldn't hear you. My bad. I was kind of keeping quiet to see if you'd come back in. But um yeah, it's one of those situations with the fees. I think that and I can't speak for it all. I'm not 1,000% sure how the breakdown is going to be, and I know that Derek has sent some stuff over, and I really should take a look at it and kind of give you guys the feedback of it. But my question mark is if fees go up and some more things are included, um, and I'm throwing things out there. Extra refs was talked about and some other stuff. I think that it's not going to be necessarily a bad thing. I think that once the understanding is held as to why, and I'm hoping that they will announce that. I'm hoping that that'll make things a little bit easier to swallow when it comes to the fees being a little bit higher. So, any questions? Oh man, I'll try to get you some answers on it if need be. Um, yeah, Dak did get paid, and he did ball out. I just hope that the defense and offense can stay that way for the rest of the season. We'll see. Um, but overall, we're trying to get things moving in the football direction. I think that once the weather starts to cool down, especially here in Vegas, Travis, I'm sure out there with you guys too, it feels like football season. People are more apt to be out there trying to play a few games, and this is when A7 comes into play, and people start really paying attention to it. And as the other leagues start to wind down and we start to pick up, I think that that's also where we see a lot more from people, and they kind of start paying attention to our league a little bit more. I know I do. Um, it really puts a smile on my face when I know, hey, you know what, football's not over, especially after February. That we've got other football that we get to go watch. So I'm really excited about that, and I'd be lying to anybody out there that if I said that, you know, especially with us going back to Matter, I'm looking forward to that because with the booth, it gives us a little bit more rain, and we can see things a lot better. Um, Dub, I see that you're coming in case there you are. See you sooner or later. How are you, my friend?
If you want to be honest, I'm a little irritated right now because I had this all set up last night before I went to bed, and of course, it wants to act like. And for the last time, folks, it is not my damn internet; it is my laptop. I have to get a new hard drive put in next week. I'm going to go do so. So that's why technical crap happens. But first off, thank you to Christopher for holding down the fort and filling the air while I was trying not to kick my computer in. But
You heard me about kicking it down the road.
yeah, I was keeping tabs on YouTube for sure. Um,
I was like, hopefully he's not outside kicking his laptop down the street right now.
no,
No.
no, no, I was not going to take a baseball bat to it, but nonetheless, this is episode 102 of the other side of the ball here on the other side of the ball network. That is Chris, and I'm Double A. Glad you're with us here on this Wednesday, but this is a very unique day, and we're gonna just for a quick minute um, get aside. Um, Thanks, Travis. Appreciate it. Travis said, um, always appreciate the fan base interest. Zelly, no, I'm not pulling a Shannon Sharp because if I'm doing that, nobody's gonna know about it on an Instagram live. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Which, if you haven't heard, Shannon was getting the business in and apparently went live while doing it. So that's the news going around.
Seriously,
Yeah, yeah.
look that up.
Mr. Branch, how you doing? Good evening. How are you? Um, but real quickly, just want to get off track for a little minute, and then we'll get back into all things ASMR. But as you know, today is September the 11th, and 23 years ago, our country changed forever with the unfortunate tragedies that happened in Pennsylvania, the Pentagon, and of course the World Trade Center in New York City. Um, we know what happened. And Chris, I'll just ask you, what were you doing 23 years ago on that fateful day when you heard the stuff that was unfolding here in our country?
It's funny. We talked about this when I picked up. So I work with Derek. I don't think that that's anything that anybody needs to hide or anything. But I was working with a couple of guys today that came in from California. We rep their product. So when I picked them up this morning, first thing I said, 30 seconds of silence for, just remember 9/11. And one of them said, "Oh, damn, I totally forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me." And we talked about this. So originally, and here's the scary part. Originally, when my wife was pregnant, we were expecting a daughter. Well, we didn't know what the first one was. She, I don't mind saying this because it was so long ago, but she had a miscarriage. We were originally, our original due date was sometime in September. So that was music to my ears because my birthday is September 24th. Um, it was very interesting because we had a
Which, by the
friend that,
way, we're 13 days away. We're on countdown, buddy.
yes, yeah. I'm not on a countdown. I'm turning 53. I'm not looking forward to it at all. I'm just happy to be above ground. But so the bottom line was I was supposed to be flying out that morning, believe it or not. And we got, obviously, when things started to, or sorry, that afternoon when things started to go left, I got a phone call, obvious with the stuff that was going on. I was sitting at home watching it because I was getting ready to fly out to go do a some training in North Carolina.
Oh,
So
wow.
when I dropped my wife off, I told her, okay, you're going to have somebody pick up the car and I will be going to the training. Well, they called me and said, no, we're canceling training. We're rescheduling in October. And funny enough, my wife was 8 months pregnant with Alana. So my daughter was born same year of the tragedy, but it's, uh, eerie reminder of the situation. And I was sitting at home watching the whole thing unfold. And I'll never forget that day, and I'll never forget the where we were. I could literally hear neighbors screaming at the TV, watching what was going on in disbelief, and it was something that I'll never forget. And I'll never forget that my uncle was a block away when the first tower fell because he worked in towers, and he was literally turning down the street to head to work when the first tower fell. So yeah, it's sobering, I guess is the best way to put it, and it's a harsh reminder of a time in my life that I almost wish never happened, to be honest. But here we are, 23 years later, and it's hard to believe.
Well, I was fresh out of high school, graduated in June of that year, and here I am, in a sense, getting ready to start community college, my first year there. And truth be told, I was asleep when all this was going on, because of course I was watching the Monday night game between the Broncos and, oddly enough, the Giants. Um, and so as I wake up, as I get to the college, I got people asking me, "Did you hear what happened? Did you hear what happened? Did you hear what happened?" I'm like, "No, I was sleeping. Uh, fill me in." And that's when They told me about the Twin Towers were taken down. Pentagon got crashed into. And of course happened in Pennsylvania. And then today, I was listening to a voicemail that was on DL Hughley's Instagram about one of the flight attendants on flight 93 that left her final voicemail to her husband. She was a mother of two, and just how she was so calm in giving the message, knowing that she's possibly not coming back home, and how she was coming afraid that really messes with your strings. But I mean, it's just something it's it's one of those, you remember where you were when it happened. Like everybody remembers what happened or people knew where they were December 7th, 1941, when Pearl Harbor was attacked. People knew where they were in November 22nd of 1963 when JFK got shot. People knew where they were April 4th, 68 when Dr. King got shot. Same thing when RFK got shot in Los Angeles. You knew where you were when it happened. Like you knew when you were February 65 when Malcolm got shot. Yeah, so you knew where you were when Reagan got shot. You knew where you were what happened with 9/11. You knew where you were when time stood still. But it would be wrong about. Go ahead.
I'll pull it back a little bit too, because one of the things that, if you remember, was that made a big round for football, especially.
Yes.
Was the message that was left to, it was a father that was leaving the message to his wife and his young children, or child, I think it was, when he was telling them, look, this is what's going on. They're taking over or have hijacked this plane. We are not standing for this. This is not what this country is all about. I love you. If I don't make it, I want you to understand that. Let's roll.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to take a minute to reflect and obviously pay homage to those brave men and women that died protecting and trying to save lives, even as the towers were falling. And certainly never want to forget those that served to the death, and those that served and left a piece of themselves underneath all of that. It certainly is something that will stay in the back of your mind forever. And I just wanted to pay homage real quick before we don't go too far left and get back into things. That is the American Sevens Football League. Of course, Chris earlier was talking about the Winter War. And for those that have an interest and want to play in the Winter War, all you have to do is, as I take away Travis's comment, as yes, indeed, the country did pause for real. But if you want to sign up and play for the Winter War, all you have to do is scan this QR code that's right there, and it'll take you to asnfl.com, and it will give you all the details of how to register, and you can be a part of the Winter War that is coming in January of 2025 at Matter Academy. And here's just a little preview of what the Winter War could possibly be like at Matter Academy coming to you in January. And it goes a little something like this.
Winter is coming.
And he can make something magical happen here. And there goes the ball. It's going. It's going. If you're a fan.
Battles will be won.
Hold on now.
At the 30, and he
Who's going to take victory?
He's and that's what championship points matter.
It's time for war.
And our special thanks to the fam, EJ Wizzle from Creative Brothers Productions, who put that together, who's now officially affiliated with the A7FL. So he will be sending some more stuff and doing some more things. Very talented individual, and they're always looking for guys to chip in and help out. Now, something that I saw earlier that I wanted to talk about real quick right now is from the National Awards nominee, the the Nevada division got some nominees for MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Special Teams, and Comeback Player of the Year. So we'll go down the list and talk about these guys that are very deserving of these accolades and some guys I felt like that got left off. But we'll start from the top. Now, this is just nominees from the Nevada division. We don't have the nominees from National, but this is from the National Awards Committee as far as the league as a whole. But this is just from our side, if you will. So the nominations from Nevada for MVP, of course, obviously, I mean, what more can you say about Munchie Eric Schiffer Jr., who does it all for
This Army knife.
indeed for the Insomniacs, Danye, and of course Darren Palmer. I mean, those three names, you really, truthfully, really, there is no wrong nominee involving those three, and they're all very capable of earning this award. As Travis says that Danye has to be Defensive Player of the Year. Well, I mean,
You're not wrong.
you're not wrong. I mean, the
Not
one
wrong,
game, the one game on the biggest stage where everybody was watching, he definitely showed why he could do that, and be in that category. But obviously,
Shutting down people and doing his thing. That was impressive. I got to be honest. That was very impressive.
very, very impressive. But obviously, he is one candidate. Obviously, Donnie Lyons, who does it all 3-on-1, plays defense, play wide receiver, even though his natural position is wide receiver, he can go down there and, in a sense, be like Deion Sanders, be like Darrell Rivers, be like Nnamdi Asomugha, just shut down one side of the field, if you will, and just do what he does. So really, as Travis again chops in and says, 2 years in a row, shuts down the top two athletes
In
in
the country.
He's
He's not lying.
Well, I mean,
Crazy that he's able to do that. And I kind of agree with him. If you're looking at just the pure situation of what Danye is able to do with the two top athletes in the A7 and show what he's worth, I mean, he's not wrong.
you won't get an argument from me on that, but and obviously Darren Palmer, who does so much for Sick, as I've said many times, he's pretty good. He is pretty good.
You know, the thing that I love about DP too is how humble he is for how
Very
good
much
he
so.
is.
Very much so.
When we asked him, and for everybody who doesn't know but is listening, we asked him to come on the show and talk to us. Actually, I'm sorry, after one of the games, I said, well, look, we'd really like to interview you. And he's like, man, I don't do that. And I said, well, why not? And he said, because that's just not me. I'm here to play football. I play my game and I go home. You know, my family's my everything. I appreciate that. I really do. I mean, guys that, you know, are what I would call superstars in our league and shy away from camera is one of those things that you don't find very often. I mean, you know, I know that there's plenty of them out there. I'm bringing up BP because I had the opportunity to talk to him and ask him about that. And he just, you know, flat out said, look, man, I'm sorry. I don't do that. And I have nothing, dude, trust me when I say I can appreciate it. And I respect the hell out of it because in reality, right on. You know what I'm saying? I respect the hell out of it.
Well, here's the thing: if you tell a media person that, then they won't be as, what's the term I'm looking for? They won't be as snotty, because some media people can be snotty and be moody, just like players are. But those that have, as Ted Koppel likes to say, journalistic integrity, if you show that, and because I mean, like I said, the only thing you can do is approach and ask, but the right way. And if they respectfully, politely decline, you respect it, and you leave it alone, and you try to go to find somebody that is that. So I mean, which the time, I mean, the one time that he came on the show, he was a fantastic interview and was very detailed about the upcoming game that they were getting ready to play. So I mean, he is
very articulate.
Yes, he is a very smart football player. I mean, hence why he played college football right here at UNLV. So, I mean,
Now, can I paint a picture for you that would probably just blow some people away? And now, trust me when I say, let me start off by saying this. It's not happening. I'm just saying, if you could imagine this. But can you imagine DP over with the guys at Insomniacs playing next to Archie? Now, remember, they said that they've done that in Flag.
mhm.
Can you imagine them doing that in A7 and how much the tide would turn with a Munchie and a DP on the same? Oh, well, and let's not forget about having, some of these other players like RTC and Mac and some of these other guys playing on that offense too. That is almost playing with an unfair advantage.
We'll just put it like this: if we ever were to have our own version of the Pro Bowl, aka an All-Star game, and you have and you have it, West against East/South, and then you have those guys together,
with Davik and
as Travis mentions him.
Yes. I mean, that's almost cheating. That's like using a cheat. That's like saying, okay, we're just going to say everybody's initials. We're going to put them all together. There's your cheat code.
It's like the nuclear codes of football. That would be intriguing to see, because I mean, and the thing about it is, I guess the biggest compliment I can give is, in some ways, both DP and Munch are kind of like similar, because they're both not as scared to get in the trenches and run block and set holes for their guys on the ground.
Exactly.
Obviously, you know they can go up and get the ball and catch the ball, because they both have some tremendous hands.
Yep.
You can do the jet sweep with Munch. You can do the jet sweep with DP. I haven't seen DP play quarterback, but I wouldn't doubt if he could throw the ball a little bit too. We know Munchie can throw the ball.
Yes,
because we've seen him play quarterback.
Can I take this a step further?
Go ahead.
Okay. Picture this. All-star, right? What about the offensive line?
Oh God.
Kenny Mack next to Sal. And who you putting in there with them?
Really? You could put anybody. I mean, you could put West, Big Oos. You could put Reggie Black with him. You could put Branch with him. You can put
almost anybody with them.
Anybody with them.
The point is that how are you going to attack that offensive line?
I really don't think you could.
My point. And then if these guys decide to leak, good night.
Or pull.
Exactly. Or pull.
Or
good
pull.
Night. It's those types of things that, gets the mind moving, and you start to think about some of this stuff, and it's like,
wait a minute, Zelly, you were in the second grade when 9/11 happened?
Thanks, man. You're really making me feel old now.
You feel old.
Well, I'm old enough to be Zelly's father, Travis's father. I mean, what the hell?
Wow.
Yeah, I bet right now.
Wow.
Bet right now, if both of them posted their dad's age, they would be close to me. Guaranteed.
Well, you might not be wrong. But I mean, Travis, he said that I'll show it again. He said y'all might be speaking it into existence. Well, I mean, it's
trying.
I know us as media members / broadcasters, and overall just us as fans of this league. And I think any other fan, and I'm pretty sure all the players in this league would love to have an all-star game of the best. And Travis just said you would be a grandpa if I was you.
That's all right, man. Hey, let me tell you, I'm looking forward to it, because in all honesty, your dad was born in 73. Holy shit, I'm older than your father. Thanks. Oh man, that makes me feel so much better now. And let me just say this, Travis, if I was your kid's grandfather, I would spoil the hell out of them and send them back to you. Just saying.
Oh, that's what grandparents do. Well,
Exactly.
most grandparents did that, with the exception of mine, because I did live with them for the time being. But I was fortunate to have the greatest grandparents in the world, and would not have traded them for nothing. But I mean,
my grandmother for the first 7 years of my life, boy, damn, I was very spoiled as a young man. Let me tell you, grandma spoiled the hell out of me.
but
What do you mean? Sorry, thanks, Travis. Thanks.
always appreciate Travis for hanging out with us every Wednesday on the other side of the ball. Eventually, I'll have to get Travis back on the show, since he's always
Right?
willing to talk ball with us. But I mean,
when he's on the show, I'm not coming on the show.
he says that y'all will meet my little one next playoffs. Bet. Say less.
All right.
Look
All right,
forward to it.
Holding you to that.
Look forward to that. Which, by the way,
my daughter, my youngest loves kids, so I'll make sure she's out there too.
along with rats and other stuff.
Right?
But here we are. We just want to say hello again to those that are just chiming in and joining us. Welcome to episode 102 of the Other Side of the Ball. As we were reflecting on 9/11 a few moments ago, about how things changed in the country 23 years ago. And we're talking about how, in addition to naming the nominees from the Nevada division for awards for the upcoming season,
Travis, you're killing me right now, bro. You're killing me.
but we were also talking about how us as media members and broadcasters and just fans of the league and fans of this game would definitely love to see an all-star type of game. Or you can do it this way, kind of like how the NHL all-star game does it, to where it's divisions against each other.
Sorry, just one thing went through my mind, and
here's a scenario. Like, you can have, let's just say, hypothetically, the best of Nevada, and then you get the best of the Northeast, you get the best of Florida, and you get the best of the Midwest.
But we'd mix it up. We should mix it up. If we're going to do that, what we should do, the best of Nevada mixed in with the best of Florida, the best of the East Coast mixed in with the best of the Midwest.
Now, hold that thought, because right now, folks, joining us, you had normally see him checking in players throughout the season. During the fall, he was coaching the Outlaws of court. He coaches the Las Vegas Kings of Arena Ball. And joining us via on location, it is Coach Chris Wallace. Coach, thank you for coming on again to the show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. It's great to see you. Great to see Chris. Hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, we're doing good, man. How about you? You good?
Are.
Doing really good. Been every Sunday, been working out with about 50 to 60 guys, getting ready for entering the A7FL. I'm going to enter a team in there, the Las Vegas Kings.
Oh,
seriously?
Some breaking news, folks, here on the other side of the ball.
For the Winter War?
Yeah, for the Winter War, and then getting ready for our arena season. Me and Derek, we have some exciting news coming up. Maybe next week we can come back and let you guys know what the exciting news is.
Definitely.
All right. So, so the branding of the Kings makes its way to the A7 for the Winter War in January. Now, I'm pretty gonna. Is it a safe assumption made? It's still gonna be the same colors that you guys do for arena, the same color
Correct.
scheme.
Yes.
Okay.
It'll be the same colors. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Coach.
Yes.
Do you need a 53-year-old wide receiver?
Not a wide receiver, but I definitely need a coach for arena. So I'm looking at you, Chris Vera.
You see how he is? He goes straight from playing to coaching.
Well, I mean,
that's hold on, Dope. That's Coach Wallace's way of saying you're too damn old.
But you do have some knowledge that you can drop down to these youngins.
I do.
In arena. I mean, you can teach them some things. I mean, some of the stuff that you be saying during the booth is a lot of teachable moments for young players to want to add to their technique and harnessing the craft, as I like to say. But so, Coach, what led to this decision to brand the Kings into the world of A7, in addition to continuing and preparing for the arena season?
I was gonna be the head coach of one of another team that's in the fall. They decided to go a different direction, so I want to keep my guys together, so we can train together and be ready for what the next venture that we're going into. Me and Derek Duncan.
Hey, Coach, I'll tell you this because I appreciate the offer. So what I'm gonna tell you is this, and in all honesty, if you need me to coach, if you want me to come out and coach your wide receivers for this upcoming season, I will be more than happy. I just can't be on the sidelines during the games. If we
That's
can do that, I'm
understandable.
there.
We definitely want you to come to camp first and get a feel for it. If it's something
Yeah.
you want to do, we definitely have you out there.
Let me know days and times. I'm there.
I definitely will.
Yeah, let me know, man. I'm. It is. You know what? I told and Dub knows this because we were talking a little ish on another show, and I told the guys. I said, look,
Which, by the way,
anybody
that's coming up tomorrow.
yes, anybody who wants to come in and try to cover me off the ball as a corner, be more than happy. I'll bring my cleats and let me know because yeah, I might not be able to run routes anymore with any speed, but I'll tell you what, you can try to bump me, you can try to do what you want and see what you got.
Yes, sir.
So, and
We
I'll tell you one thing I will not use. I will not use the rocker step back to avoid your bump. But being understand if you want to do this, I am physical, and don't be surprised if you catch a few arms doing it because I
yes,
am
indeed.
the one thing that I teach all my wide receivers is to be physical off the line. And remember, you got 5 yards to whoop that cornerback's ass as long as he's got 5 yards to whoop yours. So be prepared.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah,
Sound-
I'm in, coach.
Well, some breaking news coming up to you here on episode 102. Chris lending his services to be a coach on Coach Wallace's staff. Coach Wallace saying that the Kings will be a part of the Winter War in January of 2025. That is some very interesting stuff here that we just found out just a few minutes ago, which again, Coach Chris Wallace of the Las Vegas Kings, who is throwing his Kings brand into the A7 realm, part of the Winter War, and of course, preparing for his upcoming spring season during the arena. So for arena, when is opening day for that, Coach?
So I'm going to Houston, Texas on October the 5th for a huge crowd. There's over 200 athletes going to be out there. So I'm bringing some guys back to Las Vegas. Our season is going to start tentatively around February.
Okay.
Tomorrow night, we have a big conference call, me and Derek. If we accept the lead that is reaching out to us, we can make an announcement within a week or so.
All right. So we will definitely pin our ears to that, and hopefully we will see Coach Wallace next week to give us that announcement, or him and Derek can both make that joint announcement together. And well, we'll see from there because we know this has been a partnership in the making for a long time. Obviously, there's some history with you too, but folks, for those that are just tuning in and listening, by the way, I'm Double A Anthony Alvarez, joined by Chris Vero, and of course joined by the owner and head coach of Las Vegas Kings, Coach Chris Wallace, who just informed us that the Las Vegas Kings are branding into the A7FL. They will be a part of the Winter War, aka formerly known as the Fall Brawl. Of course, the Winter War will start in January of 2025, and we appreciate Coach coming on here, breaking down and giving us this announcement. So, are you planning to have the full roster for your team in the Winter War, or is that the ultimate goal?
Dub and Chris, let me just let you guys know we don't give out no roster spots. Everything is earned on the field. So we have my former players, even going into the arena, all those guys are gonna have to work out and try out because this is a top priority where we have a lot of people coming from around the country. But obviously, we want to get a lot of athletes from the A7FL because we do have a lot of talent in Las Vegas, and we'd like to utilize that and get these guys opportunities to get paid.
Well, there you have it, straight from the mouth of Coach Chris Wallace, who is holding no strings. So obviously you guys are you're going to Houston to have tryouts. Will there be another tryout? If so, when will that date be? And where will that
Yeah, so
location?
I'm looking at November, in the middle of November, and I'll have another one in December. Both
Okay.
of those will be in Las Vegas.
All right. Well, hopefully,
Iron.
um,
It's iron.
all right. Do we know where the location is going to be at, just in case for those that do want to come and try, or will that be announced at a later date and time?
It'll be announced at a later date and time. I don't know if you guys know this as well. I'm helping out the A7FL. I'm going to be traveling to different regions, holding tryouts down there. So we
Oh,
can bring some more guys out to the A7FL. If the guys pay like their $60, that $60 will go towards their admission fee to play for the A7FL if they don't make the Kings.
wow. So the Kings always giving back and also trying to give opportunity. That sounds like some good stuff. And Zelly is asking, "Are you taking applications, Unc?" And then the other side of the ball just asked, "Your dad is 48."
That was me.
I guess-
I asked him that
No,
because he
okay.
said 46. Sorry, 48. I'm saying, so you're saying your dad is 48? I'm like, whoa. Now I feel really old.
Had him when he was 18. All right. So there you
Damn.
have it, folks.
So Zelly
Am I
Daniels,
taking Zelly, am I taking applications for what? For you to come be that cornerback? I want to see what he says.
Or maybe he just wants to hit you. I don't know.
Zelly
try.
is he's always with the Kings. He's been with me for 4 years. Definitely Zelly. You know, you can always earn it on the field, my brother.
Well,
Yeah.
I will say this.
Try to hit me if you want.
I will say this. Last championship weekend, Zelly caught a very nice touchdown pass in the exhibition game against the Las Vegas Saints last year up there in Bullhead City. As I forgot the lefty that was the quarterback, but the lefty threw a very nice spiral and hit Zelly right in stride in that game. I remember well because yours truly got to call the second half with Robin Corey, and that was an experience of its own self. Again, appreciate Robin Corey for letting me broadcast with him, which was a lot of fun in Bullhead City last year during the championship weekend. That was, of course, coming up with the championship game along with the combines and flag football tournaments and all points in between, and food trucks and DJ matchsticks. But definitely, we appreciate Coach Wallace coming on and giving us some breaking news.
Yes,
And once
indeed.
again, the Las Vegas Kings of the Arena League also making their play in the Winter War in January of 2012, and also doing some recruiting and bringing some players in to the ASNFL. Anything else you want to share with us, Coach, before we move on?
Just want to let guys know that there's a lot of talent here in Las Vegas. A lot of time, you know, people think that they're getting overlooked. They're not. I spent all last year recruiting and watching people play live, and I'm looking forward to doing it again this year and bringing some guys in from the A7FL.
And you
can't
know what?
top that.
Nothing wrong with that, Coach, because I think that there is a ton of talent out in A7. And I think that, you know, I used to say there was a mistake that was always made by UNLV. They didn't scout homegrown talent. So they stopped and they started doing exactly that. I think that we're still have homegrown talent that's overlooked. And I think that by doing what you're doing, giving these guys a name, giving them a voice, if you will, to show their talent, all it's going to do is pick them up. So, I mean, for me, it's simple, and that is that you got guys out there that can play this game at a very high level. So it's just a matter of making sure that they understand what to do and when to do it. Very important, very important. And these guys, these young men have to understand that. And if they don't have people that are there for them to help them understand it, they'll never reach their goals. So hats off to you, man. I really appreciate everything you do.
Thank you so much.
Coach, you want to respond to Zelly's comment? He says, "Nah, Coach, you're overlooking me."
Never that, Zelly. I just seen you last week at our spot.
But you forgot the JK, so he's just kidding. Coach,
No,
make them run a couple laps.
Oh, buddy. But Coach Wallace, we definitely appreciate you coming on and giving us some breaking news about the Las Vegas Kings now throwing their hat into the Winter War.
Again,
Being
this
one
is
of the
going to
team-
be a hell of a winter war.
Yes, it is. And Zelly's rebuttal is, "Don't do that now, LOL." So there
All
we
right,
have
just push-ups.
it. No stadiums.
Fall off.
Uh-oh. Back to the push-ups.
Hey, you know what? You got to do something. Our coach was ruthless. He would literally, we used to practice out on the by the track, right in high school in Valley. When I was in JV, we practiced out by the track, and his thing was simple: you dropped a pass, you ran a mile.
Wow.
That's simple. Ball hit you in the hands, and you dropped it, you run a mile. So you
In
had guys
pads?
catching passes out of bounds on purpose because they knew they couldn't drop the pass. So we would be showing that our quarterback wasn't shit, but it was one of those situations where, yeah, man, you made sure you didn't drop a pass. Now, I'm not going to lie and sit here and tell you I never dropped a pass because Lord knows I dropped lots of passes. Derek will tell you he used to throw the ball to me in areas that he didn't think I could catch it just because he knew I could catch it. Because he knew if he hit me in the numbers, it's probably getting dropped. Just being honest.
Well, I mean, there's really not much more I can say about that. I mean, that was the same way in baseball practice. We dropped a fly ball. It's okay. That's a lap. And Lord knows I was tired of running laps.
4 laps. That was 4 laps because of the track. That was 4 laps.
Oh, I know what a mile is. Now, fortunately for me, we just had to run a lap.
83 feet. Trust me, I know.
I didn't want to be like Denzel. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You fumble the ball,
Yes.
you run a mile. No,
Yep.
I'm good. I'm good. But yes, that is a very good. Remember the
If you
Titans
fumble the ball,
throwback.
If you fumble the ball, you carried that ball just like in not remember the Titans, but in the program.
Mhm.
Program. Yeah.
Ball to the running back, and he said, "Make sure you return this ball to me at the end of the day." And it was up to all the other players to try to take it away from him. Trust me, our coach did that way before the program.
Yeah, Omar Epps tried to. He was all up in that role for sure.
Oh yeah.
But nonetheless, we appreciate Coach Wallace for coming in and hanging out with us and announcing that the Las Vegas Kings of the Arena League is now joining the Winter War, which, of course, Chris had talked about it. And speaking of the infamous quote, here it is from Travis. You miss a block, you run a mile. You drop the ball, you run a mile. You miss a tackle, and you run a mile. You fumble my ball, my foot be in your hind parts. And then you will run a mile.
Oh yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, my coach was no different. He was also one of those guys that chewed tobacco and was actually the football coach too. Or I mean the baseball coach. So nothing like being in JV for your first time and having the coach spit his chew out on the ground and telling you, okay, you're in a 3-point stance. That's how you're starting at a wide receiver position from a 3-point stance. Put your hand on that. I'm like, I ain't put my hand in that shit. Walked over and stepped on my hand to make sure that I put my hand on that shit. But anyway, Coach, I promise I will not do that to your wide receivers. I promise. I promise I will be a fair coach, but I will also get in that ass if they don't know what the hell it is they're running. And if they run half-ass or they round off routes, I'm going to be in that ass. So if you want me out, man, just like I said, you got my number, text me, I'll be there.
Yes, sir.
There you have it, folks. Coach Chris Wallace of the Las Vegas Kings, owner and head coach, doing some Ace NFL recruiting across the nation, and, of course, getting his Kings ready for the upcoming indoor season, and, of course, joining us for the Winter War coming up in January. Coach, we appreciate you coming on, and looking forward to hearing the joint announcement, hopefully in a week, about some more news involving the Las Vegas Kings. We appreciate the time and appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much, Doug. Thank you so much, Chris. God bless you both.
Take care of yourself, Coach.
All right. Bye-bye now.
All right. That was Coach Chris Wallace of the Las Vegas Kings coming on here and Dropping some breaking news here on episode 102 of The Other Side of the Ball as the Las Vegas Kings.
I was not ready for that.
No, not at all. But hey, I
I
mean,
was not
this is
ready
why
for that. I knew that he was, you know, he's been a part of A7 for the
correct
last two seasons.
in different capacities. Yes.
Yes. And I did not know or have any inclination that we all know that he coached the last fall brawl
Correct. With the
We all know
Outlaws. Yes.
with the Outlaws in the second half of the season. But to be brought in or to bring his Kings in 87 is no, that's the team isn't a bad team.
No.
And if he brings all of his players, it should be a very interesting season for them. And my hat's off to him. And I'm serious. I'm gonna, if he wants me to go coach, I would be more than happy to do so. But again, I've got to abstain when it comes to game time because I'm calling games, and I will unless Derek gives me some other leniencies and says yes, you could be on the sidelines during the games. During that game, then I will do it. I know we made the concession for Scotty, so I don't know if he'll make the concession for me. If he does, cool. I'll be on the sidelines. I'll help Coach Wallace coach his team and make sure that my wide receivers are running the right routes. Otherwise, just like just like it says, you fumble my ball, my foot will be up your ass, and then you'll run a mile. So, I will be measuring out that mile over at Matter, and I don't care if it's during a game, you fumble my ball or you drop my ball, my foot will be in your ass, and then you'll be running a mile. Just letting you know.
There you have it, folks. But once again, since we're talking about the Winter War, one more time, for those that have an interest and for those that want to play in the Winter War coming up in January 2025, excuse me, all you got to do is what you see on your screen right now. All you got to do is just take your phone and scan that QR code right here. Scan that. It will take you to asnfl.com and it will tell you all the information that you want and that you need to sign up to register to play as Chris is scanning it himself.
Yes, don't tell my wife.
I'm saying nothing at all.
This is the woman that hid my cleats before we had the championship game or championship weekend.
Oh, goodness.
Here because I told her that I might go play flag with a couple of the guys, and she's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah."
All right. So again, it will
head down and said, "Hey, where's my cleat?" She goes, "What are you talking about?" Tells you everything you need to know.
Well, there you have it. So again, it will take you to asnfl.com. Like I said, for the Winter War, it starts off in January 2025. Then, of course, the big season, of course, the national season, to which the Insomniacs will go for the three-peat bid. That will take place in March of 2025 to see if the Insomniacs can be the first team to three-peat and to join the Patterson U for the most titles with 3, as they stand one behind the U. Of course, the U with the most championships with 3, BIC and the Insomniacs both tied with 2. But of course, no team, just like the League of Paddock Football, no team has three-peated as national champions. So we will see if that will come into fruition in March of next year. But
you know what, and I'm interested for the next year's schedule, and I'm interested to see how everything breaks down for next season, especially with us with the divisions, the way that we're going to break down the league for Vegas. Or should I say for Nevada? I want to see how that is all going to pan out. I think we're going to have more competitive games, which is going to be interesting. But, you know, Dub, you and I have talked about this, and I really like the fall season, now the Winter War, because I like to see the new players. And we've seen some pretty damn good talent come out in the fall, and start to play with some other teams during the regular season. And some of the players that we've seen have been head and shoulders. You don't think that they're as good as they are until you see them play against some of our top talent, and then you realize a Webb just how good he really is.
Mhm.
You start to see these guys coming out of the woodwork, and you're like, oh, okay, damn. Vegas
He's got
does
some
have
talent. He's got some
Yeah.
talent.
Vegas does have other talent out there, and it's not that it's so much a surprise as it is a good thing to see these guys doing what they do. So I appreciate that, man, and that's why I say, you call me a homer if you want, and we saw what happened with the national call with Corey, but I understand it. You're going to back your team and where you're from, and I think sometimes we as announcers we have to kind of push that stuff to the side. And I've been called a homer with the Insomniacs, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. Um, but you know what? I'm doing it because I appreciate what these guys are able to do. Um, I'm not going to lie to you. I have my favorite players on different teams.
Oh, we all
Um,
do. We all do.
Yeah, and ice skin toast only, huh? Darkies.
Leave it to Will Franklin.
Hey, let
go out
me
of-
just answer it this way, Will. Yes. Anyway, where was I? So what I was saying, and Will was actually one of the guys that I wanted to go play in the flag tournament with. It is one of those situations where, yeah, dude, I like our homegrown talent, and then I like guys that are from other teams outside of Vegas. I mean,
Mhm.
you and I have both talked about numerous players, and I'll
Correct.
name just a few. Logo is one of them. Bagway. We've had our opportunities to talk to these guys. These young men are fantastic. We know a few others that we've had conversations with that have just been, just really good people.
I mean, Keno
And-
Thomas being one of them with the Chaos. He's a fantastic, talented player.
Oh,
Um,
hugely fantastic talent. I mean, they're these young men are not only fantastic talents, but when you talk to them and you see what kind of people they are, you root for them because they're good people, and it's fantastic to see these guys.
Hello, Mr. Reeves, how are you?
Another one, another perfect example. Talk to this young man. It just fantastic, a fantastic young man to talk to, and so Mr. Reeves is just another example of guys that you can have a conversation with that are just really good young men, and I appreciate that because our job is as our jobs as who we are.
What's going
Not
on,
easy.
Jeremiah? How are you?
It's not easy, right?
It's
We
we
make
got a
these,
Reeves.
we have
We
these
got a Reeves
conversations,
thing going on.
right?
Reeves and Reeves.
Reeves and Reeves. It's not easy calling games. It's
No,
not
it's not.
easy for us to do what we do, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time because we don't want to talk over each other,
Mhm.
and people don't understand that all the time. So sometimes you'll hear a clash between me and you, or me and I was going to call him Thor. How bad is that? Me and Viking, or
Well,
you
he
and
is the
Viking, whatever.
he is the Asgardian for sure.
He is, and we butt heads from time to time when we're talking, and it is what it is. We're learning each other and figuring each other out. But as we go down this road, we start to understand how we view games. It is 100% for sure that Scotty likes to view games from a defensive side of the ball. I like viewing games from the offensive side of the ball, but it doesn't change the fact that both of us could call the game from either side. I understand defense, he understands offense, so it makes it very easy. You do a damn good job with your calls, and we're just playing off of what you're talking about. So I mean, I appreciate it.
It is a dynamic. It's a dynamic, and it's a lot of fun.
And last year was our second year, and it was tough because trying to call games where you couldn't see 100% of the plays was, was very difficult, let alone Where was the referee stopping?
Yeah,
Where was
where's
the
he
first
spotting the
down?
ball? Yes.
Yeah, where were they spotting it the whole time? Because we're trying to look over players to see such. And I think the guys didn't understand that. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it because I think being up in the booth again is going to be a lot of fun.
To which again, kudos and credit must be given to Mel Carey at Flash Media Sports and his people
sure.
for what they do. Because I mean, like I said, folks, your main camera for what you saw this past season in the spring was literally hanging on a ladder. I kid you not. It was on a ladder. And then some of the stuff that he got you from inside the huddle with his field camera. You saw him working with it. You saw Mizzle working with it. You saw, Jalen working with it. So, I mean, we definitely appreciate everyone that, do what they did to try to give you the best looking product that we can. Because, I mean, this past season was tough, thinking we're going to be at one location and then things happened. And then, of course, Matter came and, saved our season. And now they have their press box up and ready. And it's a very nice looking press box from what I've seen from the outside. Can't wait to step foot inside it and just to see the view and just to see the field how you're supposed to see it. Because, again, if it's a ringside fight where we were, it's a perfect way to commentate. But trying to do football in a setting like that, which don't get me wrong, we made the best of it, made it work, and even had some, even had more access to get player interviews, which is always a good thing. But I mean, you need to be high in the booth to seeing, okay, what hash mark is it spotted on, and then give yourself a better view of the clock. Because sometimes, just to give you guys a little bit of an insight, sometimes you have to duck down just to see the time on the clock because you don't know what time time the game clock's at. So you had to duck down and look and see, okay, how much time is left? Oh, okay, so 4:42 to go, and ball's at the 32-yard line, and it's 3rd and 7.
Yep. And then you realize, oh wait, damn, the ball's actually at the 40.
Okay.
Because you're looking to see where the referee is actually spotting himself for the line judge, and you're like, oh shoot, okay, it's actually at the 40, but it's still 3rd and 7.
It's still 3rd and 7.
It was one of those situations where it made it very difficult because you're trying to objectively look over the players that were standing in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
You were trying to deal with the weather. You were ducking down, like Dub said, trying to see the clock and make those calls. And you were also trying to kind of figure out who was in the game, because if they were close to the sidelines that we were sitting on, we couldn't see. If you're playing in the probably, I would say, up to the slot receiver, depending on how far out they were, you couldn't see. So it made it difficult. Made it very difficult. Izzle, what's up, man?
All right. Well, getting back into the swing of these nominees. So we were at MVP just one more time. Now again, these were the nominees from the Nevada division in these categories for the national award. So for MVP, it was Munchie from the Insomniacs, Donnie from the Insomniacs, and Darren Palmer from Sick With It. Now, Defensive Player of the Year, and the nominees from Nevada that got nominated for the national award was Chris Cunningham from the Insomniacs. Of course, Travis kind of gave it away earlier. Donnie is on this list as well. And also from Sick With It, Deion Southern. Again, all strong candidates and certainly deserving of this nomination. And as I've always said, I mean, just because you might not win it, the nomination is an honor within itself. I mean, just to be nominated, just to be considered is just as much of a win as it is winning the actual award. Because, I mean, the one thing you always want, and doesn't matter what sport you're playing, only thing you want is respect and admiration from your peers. And if you have that, that's really the ultimate. And definitely those three gentlemen are deserving from this division of Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, Cunningham did a fantastic job playing alongside AJ when Chris McWilliams was recovering from his injury. Definitely stepped in and played a key cog on that defensive line for the Insomniacs. Complimented AJ very well, and basically did whatever was asked of him to do. Obviously, we don't have to say what Danye did in the championship game, but
Man.
also Southern is. I mean,
Southern is another one, man. Look,
but don't forget. But also don't forget, just like Danye and Go Get a Trey, and Jimmy, were very good complimenting Danye on one side of the ball. Even though he's not nominated, but I think Shepard should get an honorable mention because him and Southern complimenting each other in their secondary, which is something we cannot forget. But also, he needs some recognition as well, even if he's not nominated per se. But he deserves some recognition because Southern compliments Justin Shepard very, very well in that Sickwood secondary. So
I think that when you look at this, what I would say is, if I'm not mistaken, that's up on A7's website for Nevada. I don't know. Obviously, I think there's votes that can still be made, and I think that if we have that up on the website, man, go vote. This is something that is important, and I think that guys that play and ball out the way these guys have, they deserve that nomination, and they deserve us voting for them to make sure that they get those accolades, because if you don't win the championship, man, you got to have a little bit of fun, and you got to be able to do the things that you want to do.
Hello, Mr. Quarry. How are you, sir?
Yeah, you always get the what's up. I get the
Yeah,
nothing.
Can't Chris get some love too?
I guess not. But anyway,
No,
the overall
I
feedback is-
appreciate the invite. Thank you again, sir. Appreciate it.
it's one of those situations where you want to have a little bit of fun, and I think that these guys deserve their accolades for what they've been able to do. You can't always go to the championship game, but what you can do is show out for your team. So
You didn't invite him. You got to invite him first.
yeah, I mean, I didn't get an invite. I mean, you
When
invite
was
me.
this?
What? Chris didn't come over for football. Yeah, I didn't get an invite, man. I invited him when? When did you invite me? And I'll be the first one to admit it. If I missed it, man, my apologies. Okay, I'm lying.
Well, at least Mizzle loves you, Chris.
Well, thanks, Miz. I appreciate that, man. I love you, brother. So, okay, I'm lying. I love that. I'll put it out there, man. If anybody wants dub, you had fun over at the house last Sunday when we were out here watching games, and it was a lot of fun.
And dissecting and I'm still trying to go through it, Mr. Quarry. Because obviously that was during the period where the Niners were not so very good. He gave me a autographed cooler thermos bag, a Niner one with a whole lot of Niner signatures. I remember R.W. McCorder's signature, and like I said, that was like I said, that must have been during when the Niners were very, very sucky, because they were some very sucky years. He says, did you do your research? Football always welcome here. Well, I will say this. Mr. Quarry has a very nice big screen projector to watch the football game on. It is very, very nice. So
nice.
So
yeah, the only thing is my wife wouldn't allow me to put the 75-inch downstairs over my bar. So I only have the 65-inch down there. I got the 75-inch upstairs, but we had
65 inches is not bad at all.
No, not at all. And then we had the 55 out back,
Yes.
which we moved to for the night game, which was a shitload of fun watching that game too. So sitting out by the pool, drinking, and I was having a cigar. It was nice. So anybody listening, you know what? If you are down for football and you're interested, hit me up. We could talk about it. So Dub and I get together for football games kind of on a regular throughout the season. And dude, what I think we did like half the games last year. You were over watching?
At least half the season. At least half the season, yeah.
So we do Sundays. We hang out and do what we can and talk a lot of football and talk a lot of shit about different teams that we're watching, and sit there and say, damn, I can't believe I picked them to win, but I can't I can't be too upset, man. I was 14-4 or 14-2 in one league and 13-3 in the other.
All right. Yeah. That's what I do. Like okay. For those that have not watched my live videos, like if I'm at home watching a game, you will see me go live and do play-by-play. That's just what I do. So actually, on that time, Mr. Corey, you're not lying because I have many of live videos, and it doesn't matter what sport. It could be football, baseball, basketball, college, doesn't matter. I will harness my craft and do play-by-play.
He does it in my house too. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah,
He's been sitting out by the pool doing them.
It's what I do.
Yeah, no big thing. We just get quiet and watch the game and let him do his play-by-play, and then kind of snicker afterwards. But it actually sounds pretty damn good if you really stop and listen to it. Still pretty good.
Oh yeah, Cool Ranch Doritos is crack. Just let that be known.
Oh shit! Hey, and so is what we're eating? The chips and dip from Sunday. That's crack too. We demolished that bowl
until he cooked some very good tacos. The carne asada tacos was magnifique. Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah. We haven't done the carne asada in a while, but we did carne asada and then with the chicken. Did you have any of the chicken?
I did. It was very good too.
Really good. I was a little surprised about the chicken. That was really good. But yeah, so obviously Dub and I talk football on more than this show and the Talking Ish that I would tell everybody who's listening, join in. If you got your favorite team, man, please, by all means, join in with our Talking Ish on
tomorrow
night. And
during the Thursday night game between the Bills and the Dolphins on Amazon Prime.
Yep. And we'll be talking a little ish then. We'll be letting you guys know our picks for the week. Obviously, you'll have to join us early so that way you could hear the pick for that game before it starts. But yeah, thing about it is we love doing this. So football isn't just it isn't just about A7. It's about all types of football, but we have a shitload of fun doing it. So
all right, Mr. Corey, bet
we'll hold you to that.
All
I don't know what your favorite team is, but I'll hold you to that.
He's a Niner faithful like me.
Oh, he's a Niner fan? Okay. I have no problem with that.
All right. So
talk shit about the Niners just like any other team.
Oh, it must be break time. As
Ms. face I recognize.
No, it's not break time. It's when you're on your shit. You have to allow yourself to take a break while you're in the room still cleaning.
Say less.
Wow.
But, joining us from Talking Ish with Dub, Chris and Mizzle, and co-host of the Mizzle and Dub Show, which episode 245 is currently on our YouTube channel right now, is Mr. Mizzle. How are you, sir?
I'm ready to go home.
I don't doubt that one bit.
They're literally trying to move every damn patient in this hospital right now.
Oh wow!
For what?
So they're just trying to add space for administrations. So they're just moving patients to one room to clear out another room to take on whatever med surge or COVID patients. So it's making the day go by fast. It's almost 7 o'clock. I've been at it since 3 o'clock. So it works out.
Yeah, you're halfway through.
Hey, Dub. Mr. Corey says Dub can validate I'm a real fan. Whole loft setup.
Yeah.
I can vouch, and you can vouch for me about being a real fan.
Yes. I've seen a cowboy man cave and another man cave, and Mizzle has his Raider sunroom cave, if you will. So, I mean,
look like you out golfing.
Well, Kaiser does make us look pretty decent when we dress for work. So
there you go.
Here's Mizzle Mason
on the awareness. So that's why I got the thing going.
On the 18th. Mizzle Mason on the 18th trying to go for par.
Is that driver in his hand? Or is he just
what you will see is Mizzle over there cussing out his bag man for giving him the wrong golf club.
Mizzle's gonna throw the golf club at the caddy. like he's Happy Gilmore.
No, Mr. Corey, I know how to play golf, so it won't be that many mulligans.
Yeah, so
hey, you know what? If anybody wants to play golf, I'm also a 13 handicap, so be more than happy to play.
All right, moving on to the next.
I like it. I like it.
Well, I guess that's better than the Legend of Baggy Pants.
Oh God! Now he's started giving Mizzle some nicknames.
And now y'all know if Boss Man was on here, he'll be upset.
No, but back to the subject. So here is the not nominees, but here are the nominees for. Now again, we're going over just the Nevada Division nominees for the national awards for the A7. So we just did Defensive Player of the Year, which again the nominees were Chris Cunningham from the Insomniacs, Danya from the Insomniacs, and Deion Silva from Siquidit. For Offensive Player of the Year, obviously not surprising, Scott Scooter Hamilton, quarterback of the Insomniacs. Not surprising, big Kenny Mack from the Insomniacs. And, of course, the bus stop that is Mr. Wilkerson, Anthony Wilkerson, that is, for Offensive Player of the Year. Really no wrong. I mean, there's a lot of people from this division that you can put on this list for Offensive Player of the Year. And there's about a few that are not on the list that should be up on this list. And Mr. Quarry is saying that Danye gave up a game-winning slant this past Sunday in flag.
Hey, but guess what? He didn't give it up in the championship game.
No, he did not.
That's all that matters.
Well, my question is simple. He might have given up a slant this past Sunday. My question is, how many touchdowns has Danye given up?
Not many, not many, if any.
So that's the question, and believe me, I will say this time and time again. I was sad.
I was sad. He was sad.
Time again, out of all the players that
was
I played
a
football
tub.
with, I had a couple of corners that were just incredible, and every once in a while, man, they do give up the touchdowns. And I've had corners that I played football with that, dude, you were, if you threw the ball to their side, it was probably going to be either a pick or a incomplete. And every once in a while, they get burned. It happens. That's football. So
Yeah. I mean,
You know
even
what?
Dion gave up some deep balls from time to time, which is rare, but it did happen.
Yep. So I mean, it is what it is.
But again, just for Offensive Player of the Year, the nominees for Nevada were Scooter, Kenny Mack, and Mr. Wilkerson or TC, which again, really can't go wrong with any of those three. Obviously, there's a lot more that
What was
I
the
would
first
have put on. Scooter.
Okay. Sorry, you said it so quick. I missed it. All I heard was Kenny and RTC.
My
bad.
apologies. My
No,
apologies.
no, it's just me.
For-
My ears weren't listening the way they should have been.
For Rookie of the Year, and this was a really impressive list. Jeremy Dark Kent Reeves from Insomniacs, Michael Lugo from Siquidit, and of course, as I like to call him, Mr. Excitement from The Force. And of course, me and Chris talked about him earlier.
Mr. Webb.
One Mr. Webb, who was one of the guys that
Yes.
showed out during the fall brawl with the Alienators and transformed that into him balling out with the Force this past season. Obviously, Lugo was a key cog protecting the blind side of Jeremy Geary for Siquidit. As Siquidit,
How do you go wrong with any of those guys?
you really can't.
You can't. You're right.
Dude, I don't want to be the one having to vote for these guys because
Hey,
I mean,
right?
who's the voters?
That I don't know, but we're just reading off the nominees that were
Yeah.
chosen.
I feel
mean-
sorry for them.
Yeah.
it's very difficult to pick these guys.
Yeah.
And Mizzle, you didn't hear some of the others for Defensive Player of the Year, Most Valuable Player. Some of the choices that we have are like, wait, can we just give it to all of them? I mean, I don't know what to say.
30-footer?
Take your shot. You got a 30-footer to make.
Well, if this is basketball, I put money on it.
I think he's talking about golf. And
I
yep,
know, but I'm just.
breaks a cup outside right to left.
Did you say that in your Jim Nance voice, Mr. Corey?
Yeah, you got to say right now.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I picked up the golf club. I don't know.
He's got a 30-footer, and it breaks from right to left,
Right to left.
and looks like he's aiming about a cup and a half outside. Let's see how this putt goes. Damn it, you missed. Sorry.
Yes, the great Ken Venturi, of course, many years being alongside next to Pat Summerall and Vin Scully and Vern Lundquist and Jim Nance in the booth at the 18th hole in the Hills of Augusta on CBS.
So Munchie got the MVP award, right? He's
What's-
nominated for the MVP, correct?
For the championship game, yes, but like for the national awards during the regular season, he is nominated along with Danye and Darren Palmer for the Nevada Division's nominees for the national awards, which I don't know when the date will be. But we're just
can't golf. We're not talking about golf, man. We're talking about awards.
yes, we're talking about football.
Hey, Mr. Corey, how much have you had to drink today?
I don't know.
They're drinking with them enough.
Well, all I know is when I went to his house, he had
Munchie
plenty.
can't bowl either.
He had plenty of Modelo to spare, if you will. As he says,
So did
I'm
I.
all over the place.
You saw you didn't go look out my fridge. That's all I had out there.
It's Modelo time.
Well, you know me, I don't drink a whole lot of beer, so
No, you don't. You are lovely. You are in a committed relationship with the RUM for sure.
Yeah.
for sure.
And my favorite saying is, honey, we got to make a rum. We have no run.
All right. Next topic is special teams, and really these three names that I'm about to mention really is
Lavish, Danye, and who else?
actually Lavish is not on this list for
What?
special
Excuse
teams.
me? How? What?
Hold on.
Oh, because it's the three. It's all of them. So you're gonna have the defenders and the returner.
No, Mr. Corey, you're doing just fine. No, Danye, Savion Cunningham, of course, and the man that just wants to run over somebody, Zelly Denzel Daniels.
Well, the list
really?
is good. The list
Nice.
is good, but man, how did Lavish not get on there though?
Yeah, I'm still that.
Because he
I
is
love the three.
because he is in the comeback player of the year category. I'm
Ah,
Oh,
Okay. But damn it, he still could have been in that special teams though.
I
Let's just be real.
don't disagree with you. I do not disagree. You make an absolute fantastic valid point on that.
Somebody saw that and went, you know what? We've already got him in the comeback. We're not going to put him in the return category, and they should have put him in both.
Well, I mean, now again, now you mentioned that because I can put Munchie and DP in the offensive player of the year category.
100%.
Yeah, you could, without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay, and I can put Jaden Webb in the special teams category also with all the stuff he
good.
did
Yep.
on the
Hey,
3
Yeah.
hold on, you know what?
Really good returns.
Yeah, I know how this list is. This list is fluid. It's fluid.
Yes.
In the words of Stephen A. Smith, it's fluid.
Even Ass Smith. What the A stands for. Ass.
You hear that he wants to do football and basketball commentate?
Man, that boy is such a hater. It's unreal.
There
He
is
could do
only
football.
one.
He could do
Howard
football.
Cosell.
Exactly. And he could do
And
football
Steve-
and basketball.
And Stephen A. Smith, you are not Howard Cosell. I know he is one of your people. Howard is one of my inspirations. But there is only one true Brooklynite with the toupee by the name of one Howard Cosell.
And as far as
Unequivocally,
concerned,
without question.
Stephen A. could do basketball and football from his damn bathroom. I don't want to listen to the shit coming
No,
out.
if he's in the booth with yes, Mr. Corey, I did. All I'm gonna say is thankfully it
we
was
see
with,
it somewhere. And
I
who
will
was
say
it with?
this. It was with a woman, thankfully.
Well, I'm hoping it's with him, too.
It was with a woman, thankfully. Because if I wasn't hearing some man-to-man runs, I'm like, Shannon, we got to talk. Because,
Man, that's no diddler.
no, it is no diddler, for sure.
No diddler.
But yes, we did, Mr. Corey. Like my coworker actually sent me the actual live video of when it happened. I'm like, really? Really? Well, like I said, that was a woman's voice, so that was
Do you have confirmation of that?
I'll send it to you.
No, I heard the video.
Oh, you heard the
I'm
video.
just saying, do you have visual confirmation knowing that that's a woman?
Wait,
I didn't watch.
Hold on.
I didn't watch the.
Hold on.
Oh, Chris
Hold on.
might be watching right now, folks.
Shannon Sharp's explicit Instagram live stream.
It's pretty weird.
No, it was not me. I was at work, and
He said his
I don't
Instagram
and
was
I
hacked.
don't I don't indulge in diddler activity, Mr. Corey. That's what I don't do.
Hold on. He said his Instagram was hacked.
Of course, that's what they all say.
Oh, they ain't playing it. You guys suck. I was gonna play it up to the mic. I didn't care. Just like when Diddy was taking care of Meek Mills.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Bad boy. Yeah.
That's not what Meek Mills was saying. And afterwards, Meek Mills was cooling that ass in the pool.
Bruh.
I'm just trying to understand how you gonna let another man do that to you, Meek. Hey,
Yeah,
you
'cause
leave
I thought-
you
I thought
leave
it was-
Carl Winslow out of this, Mr. Corey. Don't talk about Carl.
You made
Leave
him a
Carl-
painting?
Leave Carl alone.
Man, all I know is that dude, that recording from Diddy. Whew.
Yeah. Take that, bad boy.
Exactly what was
Yeah.
going on.
No, Meek
But
Mills
yes.
was screaming. That's why the diddler, I can't call him Diddy. The diddler
Mr.
is having
Corey,
fun.
I don't even want to know how and or why you found that out.
Right? And then look it up. I'll pass.
No, I'll
Thank you.
pass. That will be a hard pass, sir.
I'm gonna be.
Those are
I'm
one of the
gonna-
words where
on
you say,
that
you know
one,
what?
I'm
I'll take your
going
word
to
for it.
Yeah,
On that
exactly.
one, I'm going to Texas, and I'm going to say El Paso.
Yes.
Yeah,
Where
I'll just take
Chris
your
did
word
not
for it.
fall in love with a Mexican girl.
No, El Paso. Thank you very much.
I really don't know how that came across. Okay. What group are you into where that came across your Facebook feed?
I don't even want to know that.
You look at two girls in a cup.
Stop it,
What are
Mr.
we
Corey.
doing now?
Stop it.
What are we doing? Okay.
Oh, you ass!
Sounds like there's a room paging me.
I've already seen two girls in a cup, and I as soon as I turned it on and started watching, I was like, "Oh, damn! Turn it back off."
I am proud to say I have never seen it. Don't want to see it. Have no desire to see it.
I'll send it to you.
No,
Anyway,
thank you. Nonetheless, before we get out of here, folks, you can catch the three of us tomorrow on this show right here, and we will be live during Thursday Night Football between the Bills and the Dolphins in Miami. To which we will give our.
I'm so talking ish tomorrow too. Let me tell you.
Well, you do
I
have something
really-
to talk.
I'm really hoping that Stephen A. or Shannon Sharp gets a hold of what I'm going to say tomorrow. I really do.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Really do.
Which once again, folks, just to go over one more time, nominees one more time before we get out of here. Munchie, Danye, DP for MVP, Chris Cunningham, Danye, Deion Siller for Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Scooter, Big Kenny Mac, and RTC, Anthony Wilkerson. For Rook of the Year, Reeves, Lugo, and Webb. For Special Teams, Savion, Danye, and Zelly. And T. Lavish T. Edwards for Comeback Player of the Year. Again, these are the nominees for the Nevada Division for the national awards on this upcoming season. Mr. Corey will be on with us tomorrow on Talking Ish. God help us. We're going to need it. Pray for us.
Did you see what he said? Read what he said.
No, I read what he said. I'm just not going to read it on air because no. No, dadgummit, no.
It's almost
That's
like when you're watching
It looks
TV
like
and the
Oscar
streaker
White.
goes on the field. And they don't point the camera to the streaker or the person that's running the field.
Yeah.
We're just not going to pay attention to these comments.
Now,
I'm going
Chris,
because I thought it was funny as hell.
now, Chris, a serious question before we say so long.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Viking is your motivation, Mr. Corey. But before we go, Chris, are your dogs and cats safe?
Oh, why?
Really,
Yes, really.
really. I don't.
Yes.
We don't have any migrants and immigrants coming over here. I don't
I
have to
just
worry.
I just want to make sure I just want to make sure River and Ginger and are safe
Yeah,
because
they're
they're
good.
they're
Did
very
he come
lovable
on the show and
animals.
say they were bad?
No,
What's that?
Then the question was irrelevant.
Mr. Quarry, save that for the private chat, okay?
What the front door? Yeah, yep.
Seriously?
That's my cue to go, fellas.
Okay,
See you tomorrow,
Right there.
Mizzle.
Mr. Corey. All I'm
If
gonna say
that's
is you're gonna have
that's
to
a
tell
good way
me
to
about
shut the
this
party
one.
down for me right there.
You piqued my interest on this one,
No.
Oh, wow.
right?
Anyways, folks, final thoughts before we put a bow in a wrap on episode 102, which, by the way, folks, congratulations to all the nominees that got nominated for these awards, for these national awards from our division. Very deserving, very earned, and hopefully one of these gentlemen can win an award or two. So our good lucks to them. Which, again, by the way, thank you to Coach Chris Wallace of the Las Vegas Kings for coming on and announcing that the Las Vegas Kings will now be another team in the Winter War that will come up on the 20, or not the 20, but coming up in January of this year. And just one more time, here's a little preview of the Winter War.
Winter is coming.
And he can make something magical happen here. And there goes the ball. It's going. It's going.
You're a fan.
Battles will be won.
Hold on now.
At the 30, and he gets
Who's going to take victory?
and that's what championship points matter.
It's time for war.
So
And there you have it. So if you want to participate or be a player in the Winter War, please, one more time for those that want to play, scan that QR code right there that's on your screen, and we'll take it to acefnfl.com to where you can register for the Winter War coming in January of 2025, which is Mizzle's birth month. So there you have it. Gentlemen, final thoughts before we say so long for now.
I would like to know who the voters are. That's about where I'm at. I just
Short and to the point. Chris?
let me start by doing this. Okay. Just a moment of silence for all the victims of 9/11.
Yes.
Um,
yes, indeed.
I know that we talked about it earlier. I just wanted to do that real quick. And Mr. Corey, I would be more than happy to go golfing with you, bro. I haven't played in a little bit. And I'd like to get back out. My thing is simple, man. I mean, we say it at the end of the show. W say, take care of yourselves and each other. And there's never a time in our history, in my lifetime, that this country is more together than right after 9/11. And I think it's time for us to get back to that. I'm not going to we had the debate last night. I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to get political. What I want to get is everybody standing up for one another, all of us coming together. It goes against a lot of what a lot of people think, but it is high time for that. And I agree with you, Mr. Corey. 9/11 we'll never forget. There's a lot of things that have happened since then, but there's a lot of things that happened during that time I would like to forget, but I won't. But what I'm saying is it's time for this country to come together and for us to stop hating one another for BS. And that's my point of peace. We could talk football all we want, and it brings us together as a community. It gives us that voice when we're sitting at the water cooler, if you will, when we're working and chop it up and talk about our teams. But that needs to go on 24/7. And we need to be able to have those hard conversations and pull each other into, more of a family oriented piece, because it sure seems like there's a lot of things that are trying to break us apart. And as a community that is one, nothing can stop you. And I think that's where we need to go as people. But it is also one of those things that we look at A7, and I've said it time and time again, and I'll continue to say it until we understand how much of a fraternity this really is. This isn't East versus West. This is guys coming together and playing a game and eventually finding out who is number one. That shouldn't matter. We should be able to look back on all of it and say, we're still a fraternity of brothers that will look out for one another and help one another no matter what. And that's what I'm looking for. So if there's one message I have to stand out there today, it's unity. Let's all think about that and what that truly means.
Well said. Well said, brother. Well said.
Now, obviously, I was not in New York, but I know people that had family in the area. And it was amazing that for a time, it did not matter what the color of your skin was. It did not matter what religion that you worship or what God you pray to. There was a common cause, which was, to quote Tim Walz, who was running for vice president, he said, to look out for your neighbor. And it was amazing how the unity that was shown after the towers were attacked and the Pentagon was attacked and the people in Pennsylvania lost their lives. And I don't know how we lost our way after that, but somewhere down the line, we lost our way. Bob Dylan told you in the 60s that the answer is blowing in the wind. Sam Cooke in 64 tried to tell y'all that a change is going to come. Marvin tried to tell you back in 71 that only love can conquer hate. And of course, the Son of Man himself said that my greatest commandment is that you love one another as I have loved you. Yes, we can agree and disagree in politics and who you worship and who you love and this, then, the third, and all that. We can agree and disagree to that all day. But at the end of the day, you are a human being. I'm a human being. Why is it so hard for us to respect one another as people and try to come to a common ground and try to meet in the middle? Okay. Yes, you can be left. Yes, you can be right. Yes, you can be liberal, moderate, conservative. I really don't care. It's all about what is in thy heart. Because as I have often always said, how you were raised is going to come out of you. And if you were raised with decency and integrity and honor, it's going to come out of you. If you were raised with ignorance and lack of understanding, it's going to come out of you. So my hope and my prayer would be this, is that we can somehow, some way, cut the BS and let's have that conversation, as uncomfortable as it might be. But let's come to a common ground. Let's come to an understanding. And by God, it would not hurt just to try to be decent people and be a decent human being, because the rest of the world pays attention to what goes on in the United States of America. And to quote my co-host and my brother, if we can't get our shit together as the United States of America, because they look to us to lead the way, our allies,
why, but yeah.
and those are they look to us to lead, and a lot of times they follow our lead. And if we're still bickering at each other for nonsense, what are our allies going to do? So I would implore to you, America.
One thing.
What's that?
One saying that sticks with me no matter what happens. And I want to leave everybody with it tonight, because it is something that was said many, many moons ago, and it still yells true today, which is the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Let that sink in, really understand what that means, and you have your answers to everything.
On that note, folks, we will see you next week for episode 103 of The Other Side of the Ball. Again, join the three of us tomorrow for Talking Ish, as we'll be live during the Thursday night game between the Bills and the Dolphins. Again, special thanks to Coach Chris Wallace of the Las Vegas Kings for coming on and joining us and giving us some information and making some breaking news. Appreciate Mizzle for coming in the last second to join myself and Chris. Appreciate Travis, Zelly, and Mr. Corey for chiming in and hanging out with us as he leaves us with this quote: "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." And on that note, folks, we will close out this edition. And as I always say, take care of yourself and each other, and we will see you next week, as we'll see you on the other side of the ball. See you next week.
Oscar.